Everyone talks about compound interest like it's some magical money printer, but nobody asks the one question that actually matters. How much do you need invested before compounding starts working for you instead of just existing in your account? Not 10 million. Not some number only hedge fund managers can reach. The real figure is smaller than most people think. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is and how to get there. And I want you to pay special attention to the fifth section, because that is where most people quietly sabotage their own progress without realizing it. Picture yourself checking your account one morning and watching money grow without lifting a finger. That is what this number unlocks. Most people believe compounding's just about starting early. Put in a little money young, wait forever, retire rich. They invest $50 a month and expect a miracle. But here is the truth. Compounding does not care about patience alone. It cares about size. The people who quietly stop working before 60 are not more disciplined than you. They understand a threshold you have probably never been told about. Let's break it down. Section 1. The illusion of just start early. The most repeated advice in personal finance is also the most incomplete. Start early. Time is your greatest asset. And yes, time matters. But time without weight is a snowball made of air. It goes nowhere. Here is what the math actually shows. Someone who invests $100 a month from age 22 will have around $69,000 by age 42, assuming 8% average annual returns. That is not a typo. 20 years of discipline. $69,000. Not enough to replace a single year of income. Now compare that to someone who invests $50,000 at age 32 and never adds another cent. By 42, that same money grows to roughly $108,000. One decision versus 2 decades of monthly transfers. This is not an argument against investing early. It is an argument against the fantasy that patience alone is the engine. Time multiplies what you already have. If you have almost nothing, time multiplies almost nothing. The game was never just about when you start. It was always about how much weight you bring to the hill. Section 2. The threshold nobody names. So what is the actual number where compounding shifts from background noise to a real financial engine? Most financial educators talk around it. They give you rules of thumb. Save 25 times your annual expenses. Use the 4% withdrawal rate. All true, but none of them answer the simpler question. What is the minimum amount where you can actually feel compounding working in real time? The answer that keeps appearing across historical market data, across different return assumptions, and across the real stories of people who have actually crossed into financial independence is $100,000. At that level, invested in a broad index fund returning even 6% annually, your money earns $6,000 in the first year, without a single hour of your time. Year 2, it earns a little more, because the $6,000 is now working too. By year 10, the annual gain quietly crosses $9,000. By year 20, it is pushing $16,000 per year from that original seed alone. That is not retirement. But it is the moment compounding stops being theoretical. And once you feel it working, the psychology changes completely. And before we get to section 6, which is where most people finally understand why their number feels so far away, let's look at what happens on the road to that threshold. Section 3, how the wealthy reach critical mass faster. The most frustrating thing about wealth is that it accelerates once you have it. But there is a reason for that, and understanding it changes how you approach the next few years of your life. Wealthy people do not drip money in slowly and hope. They inject capital. A bonus arrives. It goes directly into the market. A business sells. The proceeds become investments. An inheritance comes through. It does not fund a vacation. It funds compounding. Think of it like planting. One person plants seeds one at a time, every week, for 30 years. Another person transplants a fully grown tree in year 1. Both are gardeners, but only one is eating fruit while they are still young. This is why the question most people ask now on Notomika, how long will this take, is the wrong question. The right question is, how big can I get the initial deposit? And the answer to that is almost never about cutting lattes. It is about building income fast enough to inject real capital early. One new skill, one side project that earns real money, one raise negotiated instead of accepted. Each of those is not lifestyle money, it is threshold money. Section 4. The The withdrawal math in plain language. Here is where people get confused, and it is not their fault. The math sounds complex, but it is actually simple once you see it clearly. The 4% rule says this: if you have a portfolio invested in stocks and bonds, you can withdraw 4% of its value in the first year of retirement and adjust for inflation every year after that. Historically, this has meant your money lasts at least 30 years, even through crashes, recessions, and bad luck. So if you want $40,000 a year to live on, you divide that by 0.04. You need $1 million. If you want $60,000 a year, you need $1.5 million. $100,000 per year requires $2.5 million. But here is the number most people miss. You do not need the full retirement number to stop worrying. You need 100,000 to feel compounding shift. You need 200 to 300,000 to start generating real passive income. And you need around 800,000 to 1 million before you are genuinely close to the finish line. The journey has stages, and most people give up before they ever feel the first one. Section 5. The silent killer. Sequence risk. This is the section I warned you about, and it is not the one most people expect. Imagine you spend 10 years building a $400,000 portfolio. You are close. Compounding is starting to feel real, and then the market drops 30%. Your portfolio is now $280,000. And if you are also withdrawing money to live on during that dip, you are selling shares at low prices. The hole gets deeper with every withdrawal. This is called sequence of returns risk. And it is the reason people who retire at the wrong time run out of money, even when they did everything right. The solution is not to stop investing. It is to build a buffer before you declare yourself free. Keep 1 to 2 years of living expenses in cash or a high-yield savings account, completely separate from your investments. When markets drop, you live off the buffer. You do not touch the portfolio. You let it recover before you start withdrawing again. This one move, a simple cash buffer, is the difference between a compounding machine and a leaking one. Most people skip it entirely. Do not be that person. Section 6. The real return that nobody teaches. Every conversation about compounding focuses on money, compounding in markets. But the most overlooked compounding engine is not your brokerage account, it is you. Skills compound. A new ability that raises your income by 20% this year does not stop there. It raises it again next year, and the year after. The knowledge you gain, the network you build, the reputation you earn, these do not depreciate. They accelerate. Almost every person who reaches financial independence in their 40s did not do it by being extremely frugal. They did it by dramatically increasing what they could earn and then directing that extra income into their compounding machine. A course that teaches a high-value skill. A project that proves you can deliver results at a higher level. A business, even a small one, that generates income while you are not working. These are not distractions from investing. They are the engine that funds it. The math works backwards. The faster you grow your income, the faster you can hit the threshold. And once you hit the threshold, compound growth starts finishing the race for you. Your job becomes smaller and smaller. The machine does more and more. Section 7. The exact roadmap to 100,000. So let's make this concrete. Because knowing the number without knowing the path is just motivation that fades. If you save $850 a month at 6% annual return, you cross $100,000 in roughly 8 years. If $500 a month is more realistic, you get there in just under 12 years. Even $250 a month, patient and untouched, arrives at $100,000 in 20 years. The levers are simple. Save more. Earn more. Do not pull the money out. Reinvest every dollar the portfolio generates, and do not check it every day. Looking too often is not just annoying, it tempts you to sell during drops, which resets the clock. One broad low-cost index fund. Automatic monthly contributions. A cash buffer of 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting separately. These 3 things, done consistently for years, are what the people who quietly stopped working before 60 actually did. No secret strategy, no stock picking, no perfect timing, just understanding the threshold, respecting the machine, and staying out of its way long enough for it to work. So let's bring this together. You now understand that compounding is not magic, and it is not just patience. It is weight, protection, and consistency pointed at a clear number. Here is what this really means for you. Once you cross $100,000, the game changes, not because you are rich, because you can finally feel the machine running. That feeling changes how you save, how you earn, and how you think about every financial decision you make. Picture yourself 5 years from now. You have automated your monthly transfers. You have a cash buffer set aside. You have stopped checking your portfolio every time the news gets loud. And your account balance is quietly doing something it never did before, growing on its own while you sleep, eat, and live. Now picture 10 years from now. You are past the threshold. Your investments are generating income your younger self only read about. True wealth is not a number on a screen. It is options. Time. The ability to say no to things that drain you and yes to things that matter. Here is what to do right now. First, open your investment account and set up one automatic monthly transfer, even if it starts small. Second, calculate your real monthly savings rate and identify one place to increase it. Third, build your buffer. Pick a number, open a high-yield savings account, and start filling it. Do not wait for the perfect salary. Do not wait for the market to calm down. The machine starts the moment you turn it on. Think about it. If you made it this far, it means this is not just theory for you. You are actually ready to understand what your number is and how to reach it. So let me know in the comments. How far are you from $100,000 right now? Drop a number. I've read every single one. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and I will see you in the next one.